thought of something good. I think it's something weird spot. Sabotage tactic, or at least scare tactic. All the medical providers, grab some syringes with needles on the end. Have them full of saline or succinylcholine, you know, whatever. That will probably be a deterrent. Be safe. Okay, for today's resistance tip, I vote. Anybody got any poison ivy, poison oak in their yard? Get some of that up with gloves, obviously. Get it in some water, like a gallon of water. Get the poison ivy oak water, and I'm going to put it into a water gun. Aim for faces, hands. All right, the single ladies where these ICE guys are going have a chance to do something, you know, not without risk, but could help the cause for sure. Get on Tinder, get on Hinge, find these guys. They're around. They're an ICE agent. Bring some X-Lax and put it in their drinks. Get them sick. You know, nobody's going to die. Just enough to incapacitate them, get them off the street for the next day. Highly easily deniable. You know, you could get sick too. Won't eat there again. I'm just saying, let's get them where they eat. Somebody's not going to be supporting these guys. Where's the hotel where they eat? Who makes that breakfast? Let's find them. You know, let's make their lives fucking miserable. I know we're already trying to keep them awake all night. That's good. Anything you can do to make the living conditions bad. Talk to the people who work at the places where they are. We'll get some ideas. Dead fish. Somewhere in the room hidden. Just stay toxic.
Welcome to the J.J. Carrell Show. America has a mental illness crisis. And this woman is a nurse or health provider, whatever we're going to call it, doctor, hell, I don't know. But she's a medical professional. We have a severe mental illness crisis in America. What's she talking about? If you've never been to this show, or you just crawled out from under a rock, she's talking about all of the law enforcement officers in Minneapolis. But she could easily be talking about LA, Ohio, Maine, you name it. You name where law enforcement are enforcing laws. She wants to hurt, injured, and if you do those things, she's saying maybe you kill an agent, a police officer, an officer. Why is this tolerated in our world? Why isn't she even fired? If I was the doctor, or if I was the group that hired her and she was in my practice of any sort, I don't care if she's a janitor, I don't care if she does blood work, I don't care if she's the doctor, she's gone. She can't be a part of my world. She can't be part of my business. That's not the face of me. Isn't it amazing? Have you ever stopped, truly just stopped and said, no one on our side wants to hurt, maim, and kill people. No one. They go on the pink hat tour, and they have all these crazy liberal women marching. Nobody's harassing them. Nobody's screaming, you got a mental disease, you're a Karen, you're disgusting. We just let them do it. The Muslims walk up and down the street and pray. We just allow them to do it. Now, this is a problem, right? But I'm just saying, we never cause anything. They want to have a No Kings rally and parade paid for by the Walton family of the Walmart fame. We don't do anything. We don't throw things at them. We don't blow whistles. We don't try to agitate. We don't shoot. We don't try to run anybody over. That's always on their side. The left are vile, and the left are demonic. I'm going to pull this. I need you to look at let me see if I can pull her up again. Let me see if I can find just when she's looking at the camera. Do you think that is somebody that's okay? Honestly, do you think, and I know it's a video, so let's just pick something else. Do you think that's okay? You think those eyes are normal? Do you? You think that face is normal? Wow. Wow. It's shocking to realize that these are our brothers and sisters in our country. These are the citizens that share the protections of the Constitution. These are the people. These are the people that we have to share the roadways with, the health care, going to sporting events. Your children go to school with their children. There is a direct correlation, I absolutely believe this, of the amount of abortions a woman has, plus how long she's been on birth control, plus how many antidepressant medication she has been on and for how long. There's a direct correlation when you add those three things in. I don't even know what the equation is, but you just add them, divide them, multiply them. I don't know. You just add those together and you get a crazy woman. More specifically, you get a crazy white woman. I mean, I could say that about black women too. They're absolutely feral in their masculine traits. Something is absolutely happened to them. They're beyond obese and they are fighting like men, like rabid, uncontrolled men. And on our side, me as a white man, my white women are mentally disturbed. They're mentally disturbed. These are the people that are protesting. These are the people that are slandering my brothers and sisters in arms. These are the people that are trying to kill law enforcement. I despise these people. I hate them in the depths of my soul. I pray that they come to some normalcy in their lives. But I know, instinctively, it's not going to happen. I used to be a really strong optimist, and my father was an incredible optimist. Everything was on to the next thing. That happened. Let's figure it out why you failed. Let's figure out what's going on. Now let's move on. And we don't need to look back. You do not need to look back because you don't have to carry that baggage. Let's move forward. And I love that. I do retain that from my father. I do retain a lot of things from my father. My father was a hero to me. He is an example of what a man is. Retired Secret Service agent. He's passed away now. Father of 6, strong Christian Catholic. But over time, I lost his optimism. And now I'm just a stone cold realist. This is the truth. This is what I see. This is what it is. I don't try to make it something it's not, good or bad. This is just what it is. America has a mental illness, a psychotic event is happening right now in America. I'm not going to try to make it worse. I'm not going to try to make it better. I'm not even going to try to truly understand it. I just know from a layman's perspective, this ain't normal. This just ain't normal. I've showed you this man, this Antifa general before, but I'm going to show it again because this is what is prowling the streets in our inner cities, fighting our law enforcement. They're hired hands. The left has brought loaded explosives, loaded guns, and bombs in form of humans. There's no one on the right that looks like this. There's no one on the right that looks like this. No one. There's no comparison to the left and the right. There is no comparison. We have people that we talk to, we go, wow, you know what, they're kind of out there, but they're nice. They're not trying to stab you in your eye. They're not trying to ruin your life. They just believe things maybe a little harder than you do, or maybe they see things in more conspiratorial fashion, which now, dang it, they're right about almost 99% of it. So they're not really the weird ones. Maybe I'm the weird one, but you get my point. We have our outliers. Nobody on our side is an outlier.
I do this all year, all the time. I'm out and about like this because I do it for me all year. All the time. Yeah. Yep. I'm a fucking blue collar fuck of a dude all day long. And then at least a few times every week, I like to get real clean and pretty and go out, shoot pool or get dinner, maybe go dance. You never fucking know. Right. But I don't need a fucking parade to celebrate. I don't need to be groped and harassed and catcalled and treated like a piece of meat by a bunch of fucking cis women who fucking give me side eyes in public when I do this the rest of the fucking year, who mumble to themselves and fucking have all kinds of things to say behind my back. All of you, fuck off.
Why is he not removed from society? Honestly, we didn't allow that into our society. They had to stay in their sexual perverted closet. We never let them out. Why would we let them out? Why did we stop having insane asylums? Anybody want to tell me why? And then again, I challenge you. Find someone on the right that is equal to, hell, I'll even do 50%. I'll do 25% of this crazy on our side. Go ahead. You used to say, oh, I'm going to show you Alex Jones. Well, Alex Jones doesn't wear a dress and think he's a woman and gets clean. And then lo and behold, Alex Jones has been right about basically everything. Your side, the left side, to just say that they have a mental illness is the greatest understatement of the century. Your side, when you make a decision, you cannot be a Christian. Hell, you can't be a Muslim. You can't be a Jew and be on their side. You can't be a Hindu and be a leftist. You can't, but you damn well sure can't be a Christian. Let's look at what they believe in. They believe in abortion all the way up to the time of birth. They believe in mutilating their children's body, their own children's bodies, puberty blockers, castration, removing their breast. They believe in transgender. They believe that men can have babies and they need tampons. They believe women can become men. All they have to do is to have a plastic surgeon to create some monstrosity of a penis and cut their breast off and grow a beard. They believe in giving money to everyone. You don't have to work for it. And the evil people are the people that work. The evil people are the people that create businesses, that create jobs. They don't believe in God. They believe that we come from an explosion, from nothing. That is their side. What does our side believe in? Our side believes in individualism, ownership of your life, that you are responsible for the things you do and say. You are responsible for your family. We believe that men are men and women are women. That we believe that capitalism and free markets are great because everyone gets a chance and everyone gets a chance to succeed or fail. We believe in the nuclear family. We believe in having children, not murdering our children. We believe in a sovereignty of our nation. We believe in culture in our society needs to be American. We believe in our demographics need to be, say the same. And ultimately, we believe in God. There is no meeting halfway with mental patients. There isn't. Do I want this man, this disgusting, vile human being, to end up like this? End up as a sick, twisted mental patient? No, no, I don't want that for him. I want him to come to reality and change his life. Just like I want this man. This man, I want him, it, they, them. I want him to come to reality. This is the nurse, the VA nurse, that got in a shooting altercation with law enforcement and died. I pray for his soul. I don't want anyone to go to hell. But look at this person. Look at this person and tell me he's okay. Tell me he's okay. Go ahead, explain it to me. Explain how that guy, Pretty, whatever the hell his name is. Look at what's happened to our nation. Look at what has happened to America. And if we're very honest, we have to look each other in the eye and say, there is an ocean separating us intellectually, spiritually. Patriotism versus no patriotism. Love of country versus hate of country. Believe in law and order, the belief in chaos, the belief in life, the belief that life doesn't as meaningless. Here's another example of mental illness in America.
Violence against the state. The answer is violence against the state. It's always been violence has always been the answer. The only people telling you violence isn't the answer are the ones that have used organized, controlled power and violence to fucking run the planet. And then pull the ladder up after them and say, no, violence isn't for you, you fucking savage. They're executing people in the street over and over. If you are not loudly advocating for the death and imprisonment of almost everyone in this administration and everyone that has participated in these ICE operations, then you're a fucking collaborator. You're not loudly from the fucking rooftops arming yourselves. Get militant. Get together with your fucking local neighborhoods and arm yourselves. If you are not on board with violence and death to the state, then shut the fuck up or you're a collaborator. Either help in the background and play fucking whatever part you can or shut the fuck up because you will be a collaborator and we will put you right along with them. You're going to have to get real comfortable with a few things. Mass violence towards the state, executions, re-education camps. These motherfuckers don't see other humans as human. If you don't have proximity to whiteness, you're not a fucking person to them. That we have to respond in the only language they speak. Arm yourselves. Violence.
I'm a strong believer in listen to what they say. Listen to what they say. Look at their actions and respond accordingly. When I was in the Border Patrol Academy, we had this discussion, and then every year we had to have called defensive tactics several times a year. And our really great instructors would come out and say, when they say they're going to kill you, believe them. When you see them moving closer to you or brandishing a knife or a gun or their fist, believe them and then respond accordingly. That's how I do my life now. I really didn't need to go through the Border Patrol Academy to understand that, but it really drove it home to me. It really made me see things very, very clearly. Where other people, I have noticed in my life and throughout my life, is that they hear people like this and they say, oh, he's just a blowhard. or she's just crazy. Really? You know, when I see someone like that, I say, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That person's going to kill us. That person's going to try to harm us. So you see the lady in the very beginning of the show, when she's saying put laxatives in, shoot them up with certain things, drugs, narcotics, harm them, make them feel miserable. I believe her. Why wouldn't I? When I say things like I do this show an hour a day, I do another probably before I went back into law enforcement, I did another 10, 15 hours of interviews a week. Everything I said and say in my show, I own those words. I mean what I say. Do I do some tongue in cheek? Do I do? Yeah. We goof off. Yeah. But I own what I say. And I want you to believe when I say something, I want you to believe, oh, yeah, he'll do that. So why would I take somebody that we call it in law enforcement means, opportunity, and intent? Does that woman have the means to put narcotics in my body? Yeah, she has access to those means. Is she going to have opportunity? Yeah, she sees patients all the time. Switch up medications. Does she have the intent to harm us? Yes, she said it out loud. So she has the means, the opportunity, intent to harm us, to injure us, to kill us. And I'm supposed to act as if she's just an anomaly and just let her go. Don't worry about her. She's not going to hurt anybody. I have to listen to this man sit there and tell me how they need to kill us. And I'm supposed to act as if, nah, just let it go. Why do I have to let it go? Why do you have to act as if a mental illness, a violent individual should just be left alone? Where's law enforcement? I'm not talking about hate crimes. I don't believe in that crap. But you can't go on and threaten people to injure and kill them. You just can't. I don't need to wait for you to kill me or to injure me in order for me to defend myself. Is that a strike to the face? Is that taking you down the ground? Or if I feel as if I need to pull my concealed carry, which I don't really need to do concealed carry because I don't have that issue. I can carry whenever I want. I pull my weapon out, stick it in your face, and blow your head off. Whatever I feel like I need to do, I'm going to do it. I'm going to listen to what you say. I'm going to watch your actions, and I'm going to respond accordingly. I'm going to show you a group of women that are extremely unattractive, crawling like dogs. They look like wildebeest with purple hair. As a protest to stop ICE, I want you to understand what these people and who these people are protesting for. This is in Minnesota. They're protesting the deportation, the arrest and deportation of illegal aliens that are vile felons. And they're protesting the people that have stole $25 billion from them. And again, I'm going to say this over and over and over again. Why are they so physically unappealing? Why are they so physically grotesque? Why, if you look like that, do you put a flashing beacon on your head in the colors of purple? Why? Tell me you see this video for 12 seconds and you try to convince me we don't have a mental illness. And if I went to these, look like 50 or so women, I probably would gather up at least 100 abortions. All of them are on antidepressants. Many of them have been on long-term birth control. They are sexually perverse. They don't know if they're a man or a woman. They have multiple partners, men and women, and they are spiritually, emotionally, and physically a wreck. What the? I think they're cows. I think they're mooing. What the? You can't make this stuff up. You can't make it up. This isn't like I'm not in the dark web pulling up crazy wild videos that kind of people hit them. I'm showing you everyday reality. There wasn't a person under 180 pounds and as big as 250, 300. Crawling on the frozen pavement, mooing like a cow. And you're going to tell me that I'm the one that's off base? You're going to try to convince me that, JJ, your idea of abortions plus psychotic drugs plus dangerous birth control over long periods of time, that's crazy. That makes no, I can't equate those two. Really? You really can't equate what I just showed you to an absolute severe mental illness? Here's another mentally ill person, and it's a dude who talks like this, who behaves like this. Honestly, who?
People need to fucking show up with guns to face you guys. It's fucking time for an armed resistance against the United States of America.
Take your mask off.
This is done. We're done. You're fucking murderers. You shot a woman in a wheelchair. We need to fucking come back with fucking weapons. Go to the gun store, get a gun, learn how to use it, and fucking face you guys man to man.
Do you think that's normal? When he's finished, I cut that poor gentleman off. I apologize. By any means necessary. Look at the moron with the orange hat on and the goggles, like snorkeling goggles. Again, he's telling you, I'm going to go get a gun. I'm going to come back and I'm going to kill you. Why do I have to sit here and take that abuse? And again, show me, I dare you, I challenge you, show me someone on our side that behaves like that. Come on, show me. And if you show me, I'm going to say, that's wrong. Absolutely, that's wrong. I don't want that a part of my side. Some man screaming at a bunch of women that are wearing the stupid pink hats or your no kings rally or men can have babies rally, whatever sick perverted thing the left is into at that moment. I don't want anybody screaming, I'm going to kill you. I don't want people throwing stuff. I don't want people having air horns going off and whistles going off and acting like your 3-year-old having a tantrum. I don't want any of that. Do they have the right, like this man and this other geek with the snorkel goggles on? Do they have the right to protest? Yeah, they have the right to sit there and disagree. Yeah. What is with all the chaotic noise? What is with all of the violent rhetoric and the other physical violence? Why do you have to do that? Our side, we don't yell like this. We are very calm. if this continues, I see us get into a civil war. I see this happening to you and your side. I'm not sitting there screaming like a banshee. I might get emotional and talk and be passionate about it, but I'm not screaming like I'm an idiot. I'm not just screaming about getting a gun. You're not going to get a gun. You're a loser. This is the middle of the day. Do you have a job? Have you ever noticed too? This works perfectly with the left. Protesters need no employment. This is the middle of the day. Normal men are working their ass off to be able to send money to the Somalis so the Somalis can put it in their luggage and take it to Somaliland. Of course. Why would we stop that? I don't know. My sponsor, sat123.com, I think it was yesterday or the day before, at least 1 million homes had no power. From a winter storm, this is a topic for another day, but the snow that doesn't melt. It kind of just gets smaller and it disappears. Engineered snow. Oh, yeah. Go Google Texas snow. Go ahead. Go do it. I dare you. I challenge you. That being said, 1 million people, 1 million homes, so that'd be millions of people, had no power. They didn't have any internet. They didn't have, their phone lines were down. They couldn't call people for help. They were freezing in their houses. So were they prepared? I would bet you not. Why do I have a sponsor like Pat, sat123.com? Because I use their products. I use their products. I've been promoting them for, I think our partnership has been almost a year now. I have a sat phone. I have a generator with solar panels. I have Faraday packs. I have ballistic backpacks. Because when I need it, I need it. If I don't need it, well, then God bless me. I don't need it. But when it does happen, I live in the Midwest. But it could be anywhere. Florida hurricanes, Louisiana hurricanes, snow from the Middle East, Middle East, from the East Coast to Middle America, up into the Dakotas and Wyoming, earthquakes in California, man-made disasters, protests, riots. Look, when these riots are going on and you're in the vicinity, guess what the law enforcement does? Law enforcement begins to jam signals and focuses all of the bandwidth to be able to be present and available for law enforcement to speak. That's a fact. Go to sat123.com/JJ and just visit their website. And I promise you, when you visit their website, you're going to go, okay, I understand. I need it. Go to sat123.com/JJ. Love their company too. You call them, and shockingly, I know it's going to shock you, there'll be an American on the line. You won't go through 17 different buttons to get to some reluctant person from Calcutta, India. No, you're going to get someone from America that's happy to speak to you. Go to my website, jjcarrell.com, or Substack, jjcarrell.substack.com, and support me that way. My channel's growing. It's growing not as fast as I want because I am shadow banned and suppressed. However, it is growing in spite of that. Go to my website, go to my Substack, go to YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, hit the subscribe and like button. Force YouTube and place in X, for that matter, to recognize this show. Well, I'm going to talk about something. I'm just laughing at myself. I apologize. I'm going to, because I'm laughing at myself, because I'm going to, as I'm telling you, hey, I'm suppressed, and hey, I'm being shadow banned, and I'm growing, but not growing fast enough. And I can trace it all the way back to my very first discussion on Jews and Israel. And my next segment is on Jews in Israel. That's why I laughed. I was like, dang it, here we go again. Probably some little geek in YouTube that has like a docket of podcast is like sitting there today going, you know what? I think that guy JJ Carrell, he's been getting better. I think he's getting the message, and he's just about to hit the unshadow banned, uncensored button and allow me to run wild in the commercial world. And then he's right about to touch it, and he hears me go, the Jews in Israel, and he's like, nope. 90 more days in jail, in YouTube jail. Community standards issues. I had TikTok blow up on me. I went back to TikTok and I was like, okay, because I had tens of thousands on TikTok. I was starting to get paid and monetizing it. And then I got community strike this, community strike, bam, bam, bam. Then they nuked me. It's like it never existed. It was probably pretty interesting to see how they can just wipe you clean. So I sat one day, someone told me, convinced me, just try to get back on. I'm like, bro, all right, I'll just do it. He kept nagging me. All right, I'll just do it. And I uploaded about maybe 15 videos within 24 hours. Strike one, strike two, you're out. Boom, nuke. We don't live in a society that has free speech. You have to be a complete jackass to believe that crap. There is none. And if you talk about Jews or you talk about Israel, you're absolutely not. Here's what I know. You talk about Jews, you talk about Israel, good or bad, doesn't matter. Talk about them. Talk about COVID and the vaccine. Oh, dear Lord. You talk about, I know this is going to be strange. Any weather modification, and this is the strangest one. If you mention plastics or metals in food and lotion, you get strike. On YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, anything to do with COVID, anything to do with healthcare, you are cooked. You're done. And the other live wire is Jews in Israel. And I've talked about this before. I have no animus against the Jews. I don't even dislike Israel. I understand what Israel's doing. They're a small country that is 100% dependent on the United States of America for their lives. I understand that. And the Israelis make decisions that's best for Israel. No issue with that. None. In fact, I applaud it. People be shocked to hear that, well, you must hate the Jews in Israel, what they're doing to Gaza. No, actually, I don't. I said for a very, very long time, if they're going to continue to bomb your country, then you bomb them to smithereens. Well, there's innocent people. Are there really innocent people? I'm sure there are. But how do I make that differentiation? Why are they not stopping Hamas? Don't you have some culpability? Don't you have some ownership in what the hell your country is doing? So when people are shocked when they say, well, I know, can you believe those Jews are killing all those people from Gaza and the Palestinians? I go, yeah, and I understand why they're doing it. Of course, anybody hears me say that, they lose their mind because they're perplexed. Wait a minute, I just heard you say that Israel and the Jews are having too much power in America. Yeah, I believe that. I absolutely believe that. I can have multiple thoughts and beliefs and understandings about a certain topic. I'm not an anti-Semite. I'm not anything. I'm just a guy that is a realist and sees shit the way that shit is. If I see a pile of shit and I go, damn, that smells horrible. It looks like a pile of shit. It is a pile of shit. I'm not going to say, hey, you know what? Maybe it's a brownie. Let's taste it. No, I'm not going to do that. Same thing with Israel. Israel is absolutely 100% about Israel. Great. But when you come into my country and then you start messing with my freedom of speech, you start dictating how my politicians, my representatives are supposed to vote and represent me. When you drag me into endless wars, when you make me have to supply the men and women to die in your wars under the cover of this is your war. No, it's not. when you come into my country and manipulate Americans to go to war, when we send you billions, tens of billions of dollars, I have an issue. And I'm allowed to say that out loud. And I'm going to play this woman. I played her before. I'm going to play her again. This is Karis Raya, and she's talking about pro-Israel act. She's a pro-Israel activist. She's talking about the psychological operations to win them over. Them is us. Them are us. Listen to this and tell me, do you have a problem with this?
Israel needs to be cultivating ties with Christians in America. Christian Zionists are the last bastion of philo-Semitism in America. There is a reason why Christian Zionists are slowly but surely starting to turn against Israel. And it is because the forces at work here, the anti-American forces, know that if they can split the Christian conservatives from the Jews, from Israel, that's the beginning of the end for America. We know this from history. We know that the second that a society or a nation or a country or a community succumbs to the virus of
Okay, I got to stop it here because this is exactly where they go with. If this is the fear. All nations fall because they remove less than 2% of their population. Jews are less than 2% of the world's population. In America, they're less than 2%. So basically 2% in any country, except Israel, of course. And we're beholden to them because they're the glue that holds us all together. Do you understand when you're watching these people talk about Israel and the Jews? It is the most narcissistic group of individuals you've ever seen in your life. And every great thing hinges on them being in the center of it.
anti-Semitism, that it's not long before that entity disintegrates. So I think it's incredibly important that relationships with Christian Zionists are cultivated. There's wonderful groups that do this, Israel Allies Foundation and Israel 365 here in Israel, but we need much more of
The
them.
Jerusalem Center for Security and Foreign Affairs is actually producing together with another organization the first ever Judeo-Christian Zionist Congress.
Fantastic.
Nashville in February, mid-February of this year.
Fantastic.
Nashville, Tennessee, the Bible Belt, having a Judeo-Christian lock arms. What is Judeo-Christian? Okay? No one's ever explained that to me in the short time that has gone into the vernacular of the English language. But Nashville, of course.
First ever. And we have a very robust program reaching out to the leading Christian Zionist communities in the United States, 80 to 90 million strong. And many people are unaware that there are 700 million Christian Zionists around the world. So we are very much aligned with you on that.
Yes.
And so, by the way, is this Israeli government and even the opposition, everyone has made almost a 180 on the issue of Christian Zionist outreach, and not only outreach, inreach. We want to create recognition for Christian Zionists as a legitimate, absolute minority within Israel. And so it's not only thank you very much for supporting Israel, send money, Shabbat Shalom, we're going to move on. But it's actually to make them real partners because 99% of all Zionists in the world are not Jews.
Do you hear what he just said? If you just very pleasant man, we want to work to make them feel welcomed. Well, are you telling us that out loud now that you don't welcome us to your country as we're told, and people are coming out and saying, hey, yeah, they spit on me and they hate Jesus and so that's true. So you heard that. Why are you working to create something that you tell me that's already there? No, it's not there. And Christians are waking up. I'm one of them. I always knew something was wrong. I never understood the whole Israeli Jew connection. Obviously, I'm a Christian, so I understand Jesus was a Jew, but I also understood the New Testament. But I was propagandized. I was propagandized like Ted Cruz, no real difference. Ted Cruz sits there and misquotes the Bible because the Bible was misquoted to me for many, many decades. And then until I, like many things in my life, I wake up and I go, okay, today's the day that I'm going to ask a question or two. And then I start going down the rabbit hole and I go, holy smokes, again, I have been lied to. Again, I have been, and then I get angry, right? This is the 7 steps for J.G. Carrell. Ignorant. I start to question things. I start to do research. I go down a rabbit hole. And then the outside of the rabbit hole is anger. Not at the world. I expect the world to be evil. I'm angry at myself. How could you have believed such an absurd thing? Judeo-Christian? Doesn't even make sense. I'm supposed to be you're telling me my best friend and the best friend of the United States of America is a nation that isn't welcoming to Christians. They hate my Savior. They mock him. They say that he's simmering in a boiling hot cauldron of semen and feces. The Virgin Mary is a whore, a prostitute. And nobody ever tells me why the collaboration with Israel is so beneficial to America. And their very first thing, they try to sheepishly say, well, we help stabilize the Middle East. We've been at war for 30 effing years. There were wars before that, but I'm just tracking the latest one. Almost 3 decades of our boys going over there and dying for your boys that are not in the military. They don't go on the front lines, the IDF. Yeah, the IDF was never in any military engagements. Our boys were, because it was our war, right? And now they're talking about the suppression of our speech. They're talking about manipulating Christians. They're talking about, it's never like we want to have a sit down with Christians and really explain our side. And I want to bring as much education and documentation. And no, then I would almost go, okay, they really believe it. They're really going to make this happen. It's always the stereotypical, right? It's always, we're going to have to convince them through back channels, and we're going to have to kind of speak to them in their language and use their dialect and use the verbiage and the way they phrase things. We have to do that. So basically, you have to fool us. Here's a gentleman that is a Jew, and his name is Greenwald. Extremely intelligent man. Glenn Greenwald, extremely intelligent man. Let's hear what he has to say about the greatest threat facing the West.
The number one threat to free speech in the West and in the United States are Israel loyalists trying to monitor and police the discourse of Americans, to forcibly expel from the discourse criticism of this foreign country. And the fact that they just got a hold of, in the words of Benjamin Netanyahu, controlled what had been by far the most popular social media app for young people in America, but also tens of millions of American adults as well, and put Adam Presser at the top, along with an IDF soldier, like they put Barry Weiss at CBS. How do you, anyone doesn't see this? It's impossible. The only way not to see it is to want not to see it. This is the greatest threat to free speech in the United States. And the fact that they so openly commandeered TikTok, forced its sale into the hands of Larry Ellison. What Benjamin Netanyahu rightly said was the greatest battlefield victory for Israel and what is their most important battle in this war. After the ADL demanded it, we showed you the video in a video report we did early this week, but the ADL being the most aggressive and effective censorship organization in the United States, how Jonathan Greenblatt went on Morning Joe and decreed it's time to ban TikTok, not because he was concerned about China, that he didn't even pretend, but because it was allowing too much criticism of Israel. It's taking place all over the world. Hate speech codes to protect Israel, to punish Israel critics, and in the United States, the commandeering of social media.
A Jewish man, and I played you a Jewish woman. Because as I've done many, many times when I talk about topics like this, illegal immigration, black on black crime, well, I like to use the people that I'm talking about. Not use them in the way that the Jews try to use Christians, but use them by saying, here's a video of them talking. Don't take my word for it. Let's listen to them. Let's listen to somebody that's anti-Israel, and he's a Jew. Let's listen to a woman that is pro-Israel, pro-manipulation, and she's a Jew. Let's listen to them. Let's hear what they have to say. Let's all stop talking and listen. And when you do that, you'll learn a lot. And let's listen. One thing I learned about this next video that I'm going to play is how to talk to these people and shut them down.
Here's the bottom line.
What?
And I want to say this clearly and without interruption. Israel's war stopped being on Hamas a long time ago. Israel's war is on the American First Amendment. Israel's biggest threat to its existence is free speech and people being exposed to the factual evidence of the war crimes that Israel is committing in real time. And that is why every time information is being freely shared about Israel's war crimes, the first immediate action that pro-Israel forces do in America is try to take ownership of that media. We see that happen with CBS. Just a week ago, Ben Shapiro was at a conference where he was openly bragging and thanking the capture of CBS by a pro-Zionist owner. Right now, as we speak, TikTok is in an ongoing deal to be owned by some of the most Zionist pro-Israel voices that the country has. And even your own leader, Netanyahu, was talking to a room of influencers, calling TikTok the new weapon of war, and that he is so excited and can't wait for TikTok to transfer ownership to American owners. So not only is Israel reliant on American taxpayer dollars, it is completely arrogant about it. It bites the hand that feeds it, and it wants to oppress not only Palestinians, but the American people themselves.
Yep. She mentioned Benjamin Netanyahu, so why don't we listen to some of Benjamin Netanyahu as a very young man to present day? And let's listen with a clear eye, being 2020 vision, looking back and go, damn. We have been lied to.
International terrorism would collapse. If you take out Saddam's regime, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region. Obviously, we like to see a regime change, at least I would, in Iran, just as I would like to see in Iraq. The question now is a practical question. What is the best place to proceed? It's not a question of whether Iraq's regime should be taken out, but when should it be taken out? It's not a question of whether you'd like to see a regime change in Iran, but how do it...
Are there any other nations that you would recommend that the United States launch preemptive attacks upon at this point?
The answer is categorically yes. The two nations that are vying, competing with each other, who will be the first to achieve nuclear weapons, is Iraq and Iran. But a third nation, by the way, is Libya as well. Libya is trying very rapidly to build an atomic bomb capability. So you have here now three nations. All stand together to stop Iran's march of conquest, subjugation, and terror. I know that no matter on which side of the aisle you sit, You stand with Israel.
Do you think just on a base level, do you have a problem or any concern when you watch a group of people in the House and Senate that don't agree on anything, all agree with Israel? That doesn't give you any pause to make you stop and just ask a simple question? Why? We have been propagandized. We've been lied to. We've always been lied to about everything. Not some things, not a few things, not a significant a percentage of things, all things. Tell me what we haven't been lied to about. Go ahead, I'll wait. You try to figure it out. I got 3.5 minutes left on this episode. 3.5 minutes to tell me where I'm wrong. Go ahead. Waiting. One of my sponsors to the show is Pet Club 24/7. You can go to truthwithjj247.com, truthwithjj247.com. It started as a pet. No pet treats. All of them were plastic. They were garbage. The immune system of pets, when you begin to dive into, you want to talk about vaccines, you want to talk about shots, you want to talk about turbo cancers, you want to talk about all of that garbage in pets and animals, holy mother of God, it will shock you to your core. And then they found, you know what? This mushroom in Japan that we've discovered as part of God's natural order is a healing process. We're going to be able to put it in capsule forms, put it in form of balms and lotions for humans. I take it. My immune system is wrecked from COVID and the treatments that the federal government would only allow me to take. I need my immune system to be functioning at a insane rate in order to clean this garbage, this toxin, this intentional destruction of my body. I need it out. So I use Pet Club 24/7. Go to truthwithjj247.com. And on a side note, American company, husband and wife, just devout Christians, amazing people. That's just an added bonus, I think, when you decide to purchase a product or not. Got 2 minutes left. I saw this video, and I'm going to play it, okay? And I just found it fascinating. So my whole thing is, if I find it fascinating, I think you are too. And I want you just to hear something that I didn't even think about. But damn it, did Tucker Carlson not get it right on the money?
Interesting is that Mertz has admitted, in private at least, that they can't raise an army in Germany because it will be majority Muslim, because the Germans aren't having kids and the Muslims are, and they actually don't want to give hundreds of thousands of young Muslim men weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're worried about what would happen if they did that. So they can't raise an army in Germany already.
That's incredible.
That's a fact.
Wow.
And so I wonder, I guess if it's gotten to that point, we just have to readjust to a new understanding of Europe, right?
You are not going to get Europe back. It's over. It's dead. And I didn't even think about it from those terms. I know about this in America because we allow legal immigrants to go into our military. At one point during Joe Biden, they wanted to allow illegal immigrants into our armies and military. Europe is dead. Europe will fall to the Muslim invasion. America will eventually fall because of illegal immigrants in our country. It's a demographic time bomb. Unless President Donald Trump goes out and eradicates the 50 million illegal aliens from our nation, other nations will be talking about us the way Tucker is talking about Germany.